Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. Two of my favorite trading setups are the opening range breakout and also the intraday mean reversion long, also known as the Immorello. I'm going to teach you these two setups by taking you through two trades that I had on the 7th of January. That's the opening range breakout in Intel and the 10-day EMA Immorello in Kinross Gold, which is a precious metal miner. So by the end of this video, you'll understand how I trade opening drives where you just get a push and things just rip off the open, but also if there's a flush intraday and a stock is trading down to a key area of support, that could be a price support or a key daily moving average or a confluence of both, potentially also moving into an area where a lot of stop losses are going to be hit. So I'll take you through Intel and I'll take you through Kinross Gold. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. They're my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you're interested in a discounted trial, you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. So let's get straight into the video. We'll start off with the opening range breakout, which is known as the ORB. I like trading opening range breakouts on the 5-minute chart currently. So I'm going to take you through my Intel trade again, where my entry was coming through the high of this 5-minute opening range candle, and I've also coded a couple of indicators as well. If you search my name on TradingView, you'll be able to find them. So the US opening 5-minute candle highlighter, and that's the bar that you see there, and then the Immorello here for Kinross Gold occurs at 10:20 Eastern time. And if you want that indicator, it's the Immorello EMA reclaim, okay? So then you can see it's lighting up on the two indicators that I coded on TradingView. So let's go through Intel, okay? Also, the character of the stock is very important. So if I'm going to trade a very specific setup, which an opening range breakout is, and an Immorello is in the likes of then a Kinross, what I like doing is looking back at the stock's prior action to see, does the stock that I'm looking to trade like to ORB? Does it like to have the opening range breakout? If it does, what are the characteristics? How does it then move intraday? Same with the Immorello. If I'm looking for an Immorello in a stock, well, I've firstly got to go back and study, okay, does the stock like to Immorello? If it does like to Immorello, where does it like to Immorello around? Is it around, say, the 10-day on a pullback? Is it the 21-day? Is it the 50-day? Does it like to undercut prior session's low of day? When it reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, what time during the session does it usually happen? What does the candlestick then look like for the actual reclaim? You can see here with Kinross, opens on the low, strong close, reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA being the orange line. MACD on my custom settings at 629 turns positive as well, and then it rides this blue intraday moving average, which is the 5-minute 21 EMA. There's no back-to-back closes, and that keeps me in the trade all the way into the close. Okay, as well, so you really want to go and study the stocks. If you're looking to trade specific setups, I think you've got to understand, do those type of setups work on these stocks? Intel, I really like trading Immorellos and opening range breakouts on it. Same with Kinross as well. Why? Because it has a prior history. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to continue into the future, but it has a prior and recent history of being able to do that. Kinross also on the 2nd of Jan, nice Immorello there on this shakeout demand tap. So there's a couple of things that I'm then looking for, okay, with the opening range breakouts. So how I kind of set things up heading into the session. I have various monitors and I'm watching around about 100 stocks live, okay, on 5-minute charts. So I'm really dialed into, okay, where am I seeing the intraday relative strength? So ideally I'm looking for a nice strong 5-minute opening range bar. Opens near the lower of the bar and closes very near the higher the higher the bar. It can have high relative volume, doesn't have to have high relative volume for me. There is no kind of differentiating factor I've seen in the success of ORBs, whether there's really high volume or there's not high volume. So volume is not something I particularly care about. It's more the price action, and I'm looking for a bar that indicates that demand is well and truly in control. So it opens on the low of the 5-minute bar, closes pretty much on the high of the 5-minute candlestick. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for that bar to be displaying intraday relative strength versus, in this instance for Intel, the triple Qs, because it's more tech orientated. Intel being a semiconductor related stock. So ideally I want to see this bar stronger than the triple Qs. I put such an emphasis on intraday relative strength when I'm trading opening range breakouts, also when I'm trading Immorellos and that reclaim, that 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar. Really important. We'll talk a little bit more about that later when we get on to Kinross. So as I said, I'm watching around about 100 stocks live on my monitors. So if I draw this very badly for you, imagine that this is a monitor here. Again, I'm just going to split this. So then what I'm doing is I'm looking at various 5-minute charts, okay? So imagine that all of these here are 5-minute charts. Imagine these are all individual stocks in here, okay? Now what I try and do is I try and group them together. So I may have, say, mega cap semiconductor stocks close together. So Intel, Micron, Nvidia, AMD, Broadcom, so I can say, okay, is the strength in the semiconductors? Which one is the strongest? I may have also a grouping of precious metal miners, because I'm then looking for, okay, if precious metal miners, maybe they don't ORB, but later on in the session, they all suddenly start to Immorella. If you take a look at the precious metal miners from the 7th of Jan on the 5-minute chart at 10:20, you'll see they basically all turn. GDX, Newmont, Barrett, Kinross, CDE, Heckler Mining, Pan American Silver, First Majestic, Wheaton, Eldorado Gold, Alamos Gold, they were all going basically. They were all turning right at that time. Why? Because algos dominate the market environment. So this is how I'm setting up my kind of monitors like this. I set to watch around about 100 stocks live. If you're kind of new to this, you won't be able to watch 100 stocks live. You've got to kind of build up to that level, okay? But then what I notice on the 7th of Jan is Intel looks really strong. I know it likes to have an ORB because I've traded ORBs in it previously. Back here there were some really nice ORBs, some nice ORBs in here. There's a really good one on this day here. I think it was the 28th of November, I think was the last really good one that I had in Intel. Okay, and then it likes to ride this 5-minute 6 EMA, and then when there's back-to-back closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA, which then starts coming through in here, and the MACD also turns, and the stock has exceeded its 20-day average daily range percentage. So up here you can see the stock has now run 11%. That is pushing nearly 3 times, 2.75 times or so, its 20-day ADR. Like, the fuel is out of the fuel tank. So actually what Intel tends to do when it has a 5-minute RB and it runs, actually going lower the bar on the 5-minute chart when it starts hitting its 20-day ADR percentage and doing this and managing it this way, lower the bar, being taken out up here, is an effective way based on prior character and what happened yesterday to manage the position. So you're really studying the stocks and the characteristics for how they move. So that's the RB, okay? Just looking for a nice strong bar, preferably group theme confirmation as well, displaying a lot of intraday relative strength, and that's how I'm setting up my charts. Talk a lot about that on my platform and how I set things up, okay? If we go to Kinross here, so this is what I call an Immorella, okay? So you can see on the daily chart here, it flushes down, so the open is here, it then flushes down to the 10-day and then reverses like that. I drew that really badly, didn't I? But this black line that you see, that's a 10-day EMA, okay? So if we take a look at that intraday, there's the opening 5-minute bar, looks horrible, right? Second 5-minute bar, looks horrible, and then ping off the 10-day EMA. See this black line that's running across here? That is the 10-day EMA price level. It's right there, okay? I've got an indicator as well on TradingView, daily MAs on intraday charts. So then I know, okay, where is that 10-day EMA price level? And what I see with Kinross gets supported right there, ping, straight off of it. Pulls back down, but look, no MACD turn yet. Pulls back down, then it reverses, opens on the low of that 5-minute bar, closes pretty much on the high of the 5-minute bar. My custom MACD settings, 629, turn bullish as well, and then I'm targeting through the high of that 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar. My initial stop loss either then goes low of the day, or sometimes I'll also put my stop loss underneath the low of the 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar, because that should now be the start of a trend. So either form a V or a U. So a V or a U is what I want to see with Immorella. So here, it's more of a V, see that? And then I'm buying on the right hand side of the U. This is not a V because it's not kind of a quick flush and done, it's more of a U. So see this, comes down, reclaims, and then it gets this U type pattern, and I'm buying it there as it moves through the high of that bar. So that's an Immorella. So with me, with the ORB, so the opening range breakout, and the Immorella, the intraday mean reversion long, if the stock wants to have a really strong opening drive, like Intel, great, I can trade that and I can nail that. If the stock wants to flush down into a potential area of support, and then Immorella, like we see with Kinross here, so it flushes, forms a V or a U-shaped pattern, and then I can buy on the right hand side of that, coming through right here, and then I can ride this trend. I can manage it intraday, or I can hold it for a swing trade if I think it warrants being held for a swing trade. But this here, just in terms of that 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim bar, I also want it to look like an optimal 5-minute opening range breakout candlestick. So like I was talking about with Intel, open on the low, close strong there. I want to see that when the stock is reclaiming the 5-minute 6 EMA. Open on the low, strong close, indicating a change of bullish momentum, or bullish momentum is now coming into the stock, and now the trend should start to reverse like this. So really like trading these kind of setups. So if you want to learn more about that, head over to my platform. Thank you very much for watching the video, and as always, I look forward to seeing you in a future one.